Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. So, I yesterday I babied myself. I did my laundry, and I didn't go out only to have my smoke. And I ate good, slept good, stayed warm, so I feel better today. Because tomorrow, I think I'm at 3K. You need 4K to be monetized. So I'm going to open up a bank account. I wanted to anyway, another one. But anyway, I got an appointment at the bank, and then while I'm there, to get a hold of the post office, you got to call a 1-800 number. So it's right next to it. So I'm going to go in the bank, see how much it is to rent a P.O. box for a year. And then me and Bro will go half on it, and he can use it too, because I don't think he got a P.O. box number. He gets all these things sent to him, and then he got to go pick it up. And so anyway, because he does a lot of reviews, and like that guy or that person sent this in, and so it'd be good for him to have a P.O. box too, right? So anyways, then, so today I'm having my oatmeal, just the cinnamon one and the apple one. And I got my milk, put in it. I don't like it too runny. I like it just, look at this. That's, I don't know what that is, but anyway, I'm eating it. It's from the milk probably. I think it was expired today, but whatever. I eat a lot of worse stuff, that's for sure. So there's my oatmeal. I like it just a little bit runny. And I just did boiled eggs, and I got my margarine and my salt and pepper, because I don't like it on top of the egg. I like it to melt in. And then I got my toast and my marmalade. I got bacon and that, but and sausage and that, but when I feel this way, and I got my coffee, of course. And I drank all my Sunny D yesterday. So Bro comes home, and I got the heat on, because I want to stay warm, you know. And he comes out after he picked up something to eat in this ASMR Bro mukbang. Anyway, so he does that, and I'm in the room sleeping. And then he comes out. He wants to know if I got that. You should watch it. I watched it because I never seen it. It's a new restaurant, and he had a leftover chicken leg, but I guess it was mild. But he said, "Do you want this?" And I said, "No." Anyways, good job I watched it, because on camera, I'm so hot while he's eating all this hot stuff. It's a hot chicken and whatever it is. I'm sweating. I don't know about why old people, they got the heat on and blah, blah, blah. So as soon as I seen that, I went and checked, because he's gone by now, because he posted already. Went and looked, the heat's off. I would have froze last night, and I would have been sicker today. Old people, he's not watching my station. He don't know how sick I was yesterday. Like literally, I had to babysit myself. So anyway, so I can say what I want about him on here. He's not watching my channel anyway, right? Hey. So, today I'm going to talk about, I don't know, crappy, shitty jobs I had, I guess. I don't know. Some was funny and just things. The first one, I put the first one down. I had to write these last night because I took a couple Tylenol, and I was like, you know what I mean? So I wrote a few down. So I worked at so many different places doing different things that, man. So, look, they got at least the orange is in chunks, but it's not like the dollar store, the peelings are. I'm going to end up making some marmalade someday. Get some oranges and make my own. I've done it before. It's really easy to make. But this one I don't mind because it's homemade, natural, all natural. I threw that other one out in the garbage. It was quite old anyway, but I had some of this last night, or yesterday too, with toast. Trying to get as much vitamin C, right? And not smoke that much because cigarettes cut your vitamin C. But anyway, first off, when we got into Brotherton with Mom, after I graduated and everything, we moved into a trailer. I did a couple summers at the Justice Building in a small claims, but the clerk of the court of Queen's Bench, she also did weddings and probate. So I think they're all in one now. This was years ago. So when someone's going to get married, at that time, I don't know about now, but at that time, before the marriage, they come in and they got to fill out, the woman fills out her side, her maiden name, or her, not her maiden name, well, anyway, her last name, about her parents, blah, blah, blah. So I have them in the room and I would ask this guy. Well, he did seem kind of sketchy. You know when your senses tell you something, you should go by them. Anyways, because I remembered him when he came back. So anyway, they had to fill that, and he only married people on Friday. Only on Friday. So they would have to come in, I think, I don't know, 3-4 days before they got married and fill out, and this is sent to the Centennial Building, and then vital statistics. Now we're talking 84, 85, 86. So there's no internet, like things just don't move as fast, right? Nowadays they probably could do it overnight and, you know, because they got to do a search. Just like when I worked at HR and Revenue, anybody that works in that building, they had to do a criminal, had to do an advanced security clearance. And I had to fill out the thing, and then I faxed it into, fastest way at that time was to fax it into Ottawa to the directorate, and then they would do a Canada-wide search. Now with computer, they probably, you know, and if it came back after a couple, because they couldn't get hired until they're cleared, so they have to wait. So a couple days later, if it came back and someone got a name like John Doe, and there's probably 100 of them here in Canada, and one of them birthday is near, and they got a criminal record, whatever, I would have to do the fingerprints and send them in. So anyway, so let's get back on to the Justice Building. So Buddy's there and get it done, and so they got their, so that Friday they come in. Now, Mr. Maida, he was the clerk there. Anyway, he's running a little late and everything. He's never late. And he's in his office, and the guy kept on coming in, because I think they were the first on the list. He only done like six a day or something. I think he still did court in the morning, and then in the afternoon, done like 6 or 7 or something. But this guy kept on coming in. Is he here yet? Is he getting ready? Blah blah blah. Pacing back and forth. I'm like, what's up with him? So anyway, Mr. Maid is putting on his black robe and whatever in there. I get a phone call. Vital statistics. Did so-and-so get married yet? I said, no, he's about to any time now. Don't marry him. Tell Mr. Maida that he's married in the States, like 3, 4 wives. I said, okay. So I called Mr. Maida from, I said, I just got a call from Vital Statistics. The next one that you're going to marry here, he's married in the States. So Mr. Maida said, you stay in here and I'll handle it. He didn't want me out there, right? First he called the sheriff. He's downstairs, told him what happened. So he wants to stall him before. So he called him. So he went out there, and because Buddy kept on coming in, right? And you didn't want him to. The sheriff's just downstairs. I stayed in Maida's room just in case. He didn't want me to go out. He was a nice guy. He was a very nice guy. But anyway, so the sheriff came and I guess arrested him. I said, there was something sketchy with this guy, you know? Okay. Then I did like I said, at housing, I'd work 6, like when you're casual, in the provincial, not the federal, that's, you can work 200, like Jim, 250 days, and then you have to have different rules, right, if you're casual. Just a casual, that's what they call you. Even though you could be working there for 20 years as a casual. And just, they'll say, the full-time people, the permanent, just a casual. So, what happened was, I worked the 6 months, then go on unemployment. Well, I went over my limit, so they couldn't hire me for another year. So I got called in at what it was Department of Natural Resources. But I was in the mining department, in maps and mining. And they drill and the core logs to see what's under and whatever. But anyone who does that, they have to keep a log and a map and show the map and then have all the documents so that someone else doesn't do it again. Now, Fredericton was the main base, so if they're anywhere in New Brunswick, they would have to go in to get them. They did have them in, what do you call that? Oh, they did have it on, and they would have to send it. Then sometimes it would get lost. Microfilm. They had it on microfilm too. But all the boxes, I don't know how many, everything was in central storage in boxes. Probably 100 boxes, at least. So this girl that turned out to be my supervisor, but I ended up doing it my way because it was faster than what she was doing. I don't know if she wanted the job. She's the one who came out with, should scan everything and put it in Adobe as a PDF form, scan it, then they could put it on the DNR website. If they need it, they can go right on the website and get it from there and don't have to look at the microfilm and whatever. So she came up with scanning everything. Well, I think she did maybe 3 months of it. And then she said she needed, someone else wanted her to do another project, so she had to leave it, but they wanted it done. It was started. They wanted it done. And they gave me a year less a day to do it. She's supposed to help me. She never touched it after she had it all messed up. But I couldn't just take a box. I had to do it by the region. So I had to order boxes, and I had a small little room. I told them I would, if I had a bigger room, I could do more. So Buddy let me use his truck, the DNR truck, because the forest rangers were down out of my building. So I used a nice big building. And she come down once in a while, check on me. Like, what am I doing down there? I'm working. You know, I'd have it all, but I would have to go back and scan. And I had this big mapping machine. I guess it was like $250,000 machine just for the maps. And then I'd scan it on a regular scanner. And anyways, it was a big project. I'd done that project. And got it done. I got it done within that year. Why did I want to talk about that? Okay, there was something else. Anyways, so I was there. Now, when I was taking my bartending, when I was 19 there, it was summertime, and I was doing Chambermaid. I was only going to do it for the summer months. Well, I never done Chambermaid before. And I wanted to up it to, I was taking my bartendings because I wanted to waitress. And so anyway, these sisters, I feel if relatives are going to work together, one shouldn't be supervisor and one, they should be at the same level. And I'll give you 2 examples. The chambermaid. One was head, they considered a housekeeper. And she would come around, take up all the blankets and towels. No, just the blankets. And then take them downstairs. She was the first one to go in every room. And her sister was just a chambermaid, okay? So, anyways, she'd be the first one in to go grab them and put them downstairs. And in the end of the night, when we were all done, we were supposed to do what? 13 rooms and 18 and 8. We had like 3.5 minutes per room. Unless they got one, that's like an apartment. Got a bedroom, little kitchen, not a kitchenette, a kitchen, living room, dining room. I think you got 7.5 minutes to clean that one. But anyways, that's what they told me. It probably was more, but anyway. So, she go do that. And at the end, when you're done, your room, she goes around, her and her sister, ticking off, making sure everything, and before you can go home. So, I'm doing my bartendings that night. I worked there in the daytime, and I had an hour. Try to get something eaten. Anyways, so this military family, it was just this wife and her husband and 2 kids. I was assigned that room, and they were there almost a month. What happened was when they transferred to New Brunswick, their PMQ wasn't ready or something happened. So they were waiting for it. So anyway, I think it was paid for because I mean it was so I hate it when there's a stay. Well, depending. Where they were a stay but a long-term stay, I didn't like. Usually a stay, you knock at the door and then you ask them, do you want towels and whatever. You wouldn't have to, does the floor need vacuuming? You don't have to make their bed. You don't have to change their bed. You give them, if they're not there, if it's no, do not disturb's not on the door, you can go in, grab the dirty ones, towels and that, and put clean ones, but you don't have to hang them up. You just try to go in and back out again, sort of thing. So anyways, but the ones that, like this old guy, he was there, I don't know what he was waiting for his housing or whatever was going on, but he was okay because he would sit there and read a book and, oh, come on in, and I'd do his bed. He wanted his bed made, and you know what I mean? You don't mind that. And the woman was not bad. But the kids are running around, and I'm trying, so for a whole month I had to deal with that. And I'm not thinking when they leave, her sister always gets to leave. Just, I never got to say goodbye to the girl. You're not supposed to talk to your guests, but what are you going to do if they're talking to you? You're not supposed to make a friend, they said. They're not slowing me down. It's not like I'm sitting having a cup of tea with them. You know what I mean? But anyway, there's a reason. So, just like the old guy, when he left, I never got a chance because sister got that room. I got a lot of stays. And that's just a one night. So, they tried to keep me inside in summertime. I wanted rooms around the pool. You open the door and you can keep it. And I was inside. You got this uniform that made you itch because you had to wear a uniform. Oh, it was terrible. My legs would turn red and everything. But I knew it was until I got my bartenders, and then I'd go in and look for a waitress job, right? So anyway. So, one day I'm at the pool cleaning one of the rooms. Little did they know, the girl and her husband, I don't know what happened. They got to the PMQ, they didn't like it, or I don't know, but if they refused it, they had to pay it, so they weren't getting the apartment. The two girls stayed with his parents or something, and they got a room near the pool. She seen me. She runs right over. Hi, we had a name tag, so she knew my name. I said, hi, you're back, eh? I said, sorry I didn't get to say goodbye to you, but one of the other chambermaids, when you left, first she said, you get the envelope that was for you? I said, no. She said, she knew my name, because I wore a name tag. She said, I said, I didn't do the room when you left. So, maybe it's that. She said, no. She said, I left you an envelope. She went right up and talked over their head to the manager. She left me a tip, and I didn't get it. And I think it was like $100. It was quite a big tip. Wasn't 20, like 100. And she demanded for me to have that, the manager. And then whatever happened, but after that, they gave me a hard time. When they went back to inspect the room, the we never even touched the air conditioning. It was like a square thing, but it had little white things, speckles from paint, and they knew that I had to be out of there by 6 o'clock to get over across the river to go do my bartending. Here, and they give me this thing, and they said dust. I had to go way up that room, and it wasn't dust, it was paint. Stuff like that, right? So I quit. I quit it. I said no. So, right after that, I started working at the Ming, the Chinese restaurant, but before that, two sisters. I get a phone call. I think it was a 4-week. Because anyway, what happened was the woman in the, how did it go? Yeah. The cook in the kitchen, this is at a motel. And I needed extra money. I was in between jobs and whatnot. I get a phone call. Because I'm putting my name in for waitressing, right? So I get a phone call. And the cook, her daughter, worked waitressing. And her sister, daughter, she was a head, her sister, well, the cook was the head of the kitchen. And then her sister was the head of the restaurant. Her daughter was, but they were same level, sort of thing. And her daughter was dishwasher, the head of the waitressing. So, I get a phone call. I think it's for waitressing because that's, but the mother of the daughter, the head one for the waitressing, because that's the one, when I went in, I want to talk to the manager, gave her the resume and blah, blah, blah. She calls me and she said, it was only going to be 2 weeks, I think. What happened was her daughter that was doing dishes got into a bender. And they wanted someone for a week or so, or I don't know how long it was, until she gets her x-rays and see if she can't work and whatever. Would I be interested? I said, well, I need the money. I really don't want a waitress or do dishes, but I said, I need the money. So the first day I went in, it was a buffet at lunch, and anything sharp, at the end of the evening, you gotta clean the pots. You put them in hot water, and by the time the end of the evening, it'll be warm enough to clean the pots. You gotta do them by hand. Anything had 2 big sinks. Anything sharp, there's this thing that you stand the big knives on, so you don't. Anyways, and she's the only one, the head of the restaurant. Well, the cook puts the pots in, but anyways, the big knives and that, she puts in there too. She's not, anyways. So, the first day, and then the cook told me, she made me a sandwich and that, go take your break and have your cigarette outside. She smoked too, right? She came out with me and she said, you're doing a good job. Did you ever do dishes before? I said, no. She said, you're doing a real good job. After when I was done, even the head of the restaurant when I was ready to go home, you done a good job today for being your first time doing it. I hated it. But anyway, I needed the money and it was only for a couple of days. or weeks or whatever it was. I don't think it was weeks. But second day, the daughter comes in and in a sling, the one that I took her job there. And I guess it was just a sprain, so she's only going to be out for a few days or something. I don't know. I think she was trying to get insurance money because, anyways, nothing was wrong with her. They took the x-ray. Well, they couldn't take the x-ray for that night because it was too swelled up, and they wouldn't have been able to see if they were any fracture or whatever. So that's why she had to wait. And then she got the x-ray, and then the next day after that, the doctor got the results. She went. It takes a while. It's a process, right? So I think it was like. So I was doing okay. I guess the doctor told her she could go back to work. All they would have had to tell me, my daughter can go back to work. We don't need you. I'd say good. Here. But instead, the mother in the restaurant was being a bitch. She was just throwing things in, making it harder for me. They wanted me to quit. I think lunchtime passed and all that, and I think she told the sister, don't let her take a break. But she went and made me a sandwich, and she said, you go take a break. I'm only 19 at the time. I mean, you know. Anyways, so I went and ate the sandwich. But I didn't take like the last 2 days, an hour lunch. They didn't come out and talk to me, nothing. I'm like, what's up? I didn't know that she could go back to work. Nobody told me, or I would have said, well, you want me to be done? You know? No hard feelings there. Anyhow, the end of the evening that night, I went to put my hand, because I know it's going to be cold water, right? The pans. It was scalding hot. I yelled. The cook said, oh, she must have changed the water. She's not supposed to touch my water. And also, she just threw the knives in. She didn't. So I went, Mom used to pick me up. My hands were scalded. So I woke up next morning and I went into the emergency. I called my doctor, couldn't get in, blah, blah, blah. So Mom called him and she said, she can't come into work today because her hands are scalded. And he said, well, she couldn't really handle the job anyway. So when I went to the doctor and they seen, he said, no, that's not only hot water. He said, that's chemicals. So you know the dishwasher stuff for the machine, the real strong stuff? That's what she put in my water. It ate my hands. Like I couldn't do nothing. So anyway, so that's why I say family, I stay away from. If I got two bosses and no, I stay away from that. I stay away from that. Okay, so we'll get on to housing. We got to get into this one. Like I said, I worked there for almost 9 years, on and off, and whatever. And they had their own units, and then they did rent subs where they supplement. They don't own the building, but you pay so much, and they pay the rest, and plus they had a couple seniors units. Anyways, these people, the stuff that I had to put up with, oh my God. Every phone call's irate. Like every phone call. Pretty much. I say 85% of the phone calls I received in there, and people coming in, oh man, because they can come. So, one moment she wanted transfer, she kept on coming in. Program officer's the only one can do that, but they're nasty with me. But if they're not in, they're not in. Or if they don't want to talk to them, what am I supposed to do? I just take a message. Anyway, she went on, she wanted transfer. She wanted a transfer so bad that she ended up not thinking, because it's all townhouse and she's at the corner, but there's still someone next to her and someone next to her. She burns her unit. Anyways, then this other girl wanted a transfer. But where she was, because they owned a few of them, was the best one. Everybody got along with everyone. It was the best one. But they really wanted her kid out of there because he was a menace. He throw rocks and break windows. I mean, this kid I know because they come into the office and we got like a book stand and he's climbing up the book stand. In and out, good job. They have to push a button to go out because the street's right there. Like, he would run, like, and she just let him. So they were complaining about her and that boy. He's like 6, 7 years old. I mean, you know, when he gets older. But these are all nice women. They were just complaining because they wanted her to do something, not move. They weren't being racist. She was like African American or whatever. They're not racist people. They're not racist people at all. They were, what their complaints was with that kid. And I could see it. I mean, he needed some pills, you know. I don't believe in those, whatever there they give the kids unless they're really, and that kid needed one. That kid needed one. He was hyped. I don't know if she feed him sugar before he came in. I don't know what the story, but this kid was hyped. So, they told her they didn't have any room for her anywhere. Anywhere. So she was in housing in Nova Scotia before she transferred to New Brunswick because her parents lived in one of our seniors units. So anyways, I guess they were giving her a hard time there in Nova Scotia. But anyways, so I remember the program officer, he said, as soon as something comes up, because all the ladies, they came in to do a complaint about her, right? Because, I mean, if he's throwing rocks at windows and kicking cats and whatever he's doing, I mean, and this is a small little one and everybody gets along with everybody, you know. So what happened was, she ended up spray painting. Well, what happened was her car it wasn't a brand new car. It wasn't worth maybe $500. And she's in a corner one too, right? There used to be bigger apartments in the corner ones. But anyway, and it's a nice unit. And she had a little girl too, a boy. And I think they were mulatto or something. They weren't that. Anyways. So, it was all on the news and everything that her car was the N-word spray paint across her car and on the side of the building. And so, because she wanted to get transferred, right? So, of course, they're going to do investigation because the ladies, they already complained about her, and she gets a hold of the Multicultural Society, of course, and it's all in the paper, and they're going to make a big thing about how, you know, and all this stuff. And the ladies came in and said they did not do it, you know, because they were worried. So she ended up going back to Nova Scotia. I don't know what the thing was, but she went back to Nova Scotia, and then the father came in to pay his rent. He literally told us that she did it. She did it, but she won't transfer. She didn't think it was going to be blown up, right? Like that. Oh, when I started working there, one girl from one of the housing units. They told me, after she's done, told me name, she comes in with all these $5 bills. I think her rent's of $165 or something. And they pay the rest, right? Or she wasn't in rent sub, but that's they pay 1/4 of their income or whatever. But anyway, I think it was $165 or $135. She comes in with all these $5 bills. I'm thinking, oh, she pays the rent with all $5 bills. I'm thinking, oh, because I remember my aunt, or friend down home, she used to make these lasagnas and sell them for $5, right? So that's what I'm thinking she's doing. She comes in with the fives. I just start working there. And then I gave the money to the accounts receivable because I didn't want it all in my till, all those fives. She said, go wash your hands now. I said, what? Go wash your hands. I said, is she cooking or? No, she's doing favors for men. Charged them $5 to pay her rent. Anyhow. Okay, so I got that one. So I did a few, this is going to be last one. Well, not really. I'm saving St. Hubert's. In the summertime, down at this restaurant, they were only open summer because it was on the main highway. And different customers from like the Chinese restaurant, like way different because they're traveling, they're hot, they're tired. When they first come in, they go to the bathroom and blah, blah, blah. It's just a different, but I like the people I was working for. And at the restaurant, I wasn't fussy about the owner, but, you know, but anyway. So, one woman, she comes in. When we take a break, we got a small table in the corner. You get in a corner. And the radio is just for news mostly. And you could barely hear it. Of course, she's sitting there. Can you turn that radio down? I can't hear myself. I go over, touch the knob, not turn it. I said, how's this? Yeah, that's better. Same woman. Or could have been a different one. She's traveling. And she's like, do you got decaf coffee? She said, because I've been on the road and I want decaf coffee. I know decaf coffee. And we didn't have decaf coffee, but she needed coffee. She needed something. She needed the caffeine. That one. Blah, 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 100 miles an hour. So anyway, I said to her, yeah, we do. So I gave her the perk. And she takes a sip. And I'm like, I'm holding my breath, right? Because she's the expert of decaf coffee. So now that's decaf coffee. I know decaf coffee. The stuff you had to put up with was unreal. Okay, we'll get on to St. Hubert's. So St. Hubert's is sort of like a Swiss chalet. And it originated in Montreal, in Quebec. I know the whole history because we did a whole thing on it for a week, the whole thing. Well, anyways, Moncton, like I said, is a lot of bilingual French there. And they did one in Moncton before Fredericton. So a few people, like the guy that makes the barbecue sauce, there's only one guy because they don't want to give up their recipe, this big guy. He went, and a few other people that, and then they could train, we could work with them, like the other people that they hire after. So me and Mom, we went to work there after they were already trained. Now, I worked at Burger King, and my supervisor there, he left, and he ended up being supervisor at St. Hubert's. He don't speak French, so see, they want so many French and English. But anyway, so they send over this from Moncton. He's probably from Quebec, but he was working at that one. They had that one open for a while, and then they were moving Fredericton. Anyway, this Cremon guy, he comes over, and we had the night shift. Don had the daytime, so we hardly seen him, only in as I was coming, or my supervisor at Burger King. As we were coming in, he was leaving, and he'd say, "Hi, girls." I liked him. He was a real good supervisor. But I knew Cremon. He wanted to get him out. He didn't want any women supervisors, and he wanted that job. And I was saying, I'd like to tell him to watch your back, but I'm not going to get into it. You know what I mean? So anyways, backstabber. I was there for about a week and a half or so in the kitchen. And I've done it. I was at almost everything. I did the desserts. I did the chicken, pour the thing. I was doing everything. I didn't do dishwasher, but I've been, and if you do 6 stations, then you become supervisor. See? Not master supervisor like Cremon, but supervisor. And there were no women on his shift was going to be supervisor. I tell you that. So when I was doing the chicken there with Mom, the panel box was right here, and we had to bone the chicken and whatever, and doing that. And he'd come, "No eating the chicken, no eating the chicken." We weren't eating the chicken. We work with chicken all day long. We don't want to eat it. I looked at him, and this other guy, see, couldn't fire him because he knew what he was doing. He went to Moncton, and he knew everything. He should have been supervisor. But anyway, he didn't want it. But he was funny. He said, "Go back to work, Grandma. Get out of here," like he would tell. We wouldn't say it. We'd be fired. So anyway. So at the end of the evening, I'm walking to put stuff to the dishwasher, and the barbecue guy is right there with the barbecue. Oh, the reason, okay, so Cremon was playing around with the panel box. And then we seen him, and then people were complaining that the chicken wasn't, I wasn't boning the chicken. I was up there putting them on the spritzer and anyway, and the chicken wasn't cooking, and he's playing around with it. Mom's right there. She sees everything. And then having complaints, so he has to call Dawn, and then he goes and he puts it back again, and then he tells Dawn, "Oh, I fixed it." I don't know what was up with that, but anyway, I kept that in my head. So one night, I think we've been there 2.5 weeks anyway. I mean, we were there for a while. Mom didn't like it there, you know how, but I was going, see. So, man, I was walking to the dishwasher, and I had something to give. And here comes Cremon with the cutting board. Now, I never cut the chicken. It had the saw, and it comes in 3 pieces. "Here, take this to the dishwasher." He puts it right on my thing. And it started slipping because something was smaller on the bottom than on top. And I was scared to break it. And I'm only 19, 20, so I don't know anything. So when I went down, I heard my back snap. The barbecue guy was right there. Anyways, I couldn't get up. So he took it from me. He helped me out. He said, "That's supposed to go back in 3 pieces. He knows that." He carried it. So I went home, went to bed, and I took a hot bath. And when I woke up in the morning, I was on my stomach. I couldn't get up. I told Mama, I said, "I can't get up. My back is hurting." She says, well, make a doctor's appointment. I said, yeah. So she calls Don. Or I called Don. In the daytime. I told him what happened. He said, well, if they give you any medicines or anything like that, you send it into, or you can't work, you send it into workers' comp right away, and we'll fill out a thing. So, I mean, I'm only 19, 20. I don't want to be on compensation if I don't have to, you know. Anyways, but I was going to see. So I made appointment, went seeing the doctor. Doctor said I pulled ligament and sprained muscles or something like that, and was going to give me muscle relaxers and painkillers. I said, what's these? Because I knew addiction because of Mom, right? With the pills and the... Wasn't too worried about the painkillers because it didn't have codeine. It was just a mild one. But the muscle relaxers, I didn't know nothing about them. Mom never took any, see. So I said, now what does these pills do? Are they going to cure it? Or is it going to make me feel better and then I'm going to have to be on them the rest of my life? Because I don't like pills. I don't want to be on pills. And when the doctor said, well, it's not going to cure it, then I said, well, I don't want them. But I took the prescription anyway. So he said I had to not work and whatever and keep a heat pad if I'm not going to take them, and I should be okay in 2 weeks or so. I said, okay. So I called Donna. I said, well, he gave me this prescription for muscle relaxers, and I did get the prescription for the painkillers. You know I'm in pain if I take pain pills, right? Anyways, I said, but I'm not going to take these muscle relaxers. He told me, he said, take a photocopy and send them in workers' comp, and I'll always have it on file so that if you ever have a problem later on down the road and you can't work, they can go back on that file. So that's what I did. But I just went and I rested and self-medicate myself. You know, I took the thing, I took it easy, I didn't do nothing, but I still got a bad back because it's cremo. So anyway, that's the last of that one. And so Friday I'm going to see about getting a P.O. box and going to the bank. I think I'm at 3K watch hours, so I need one more left. So I'm going to go to the bank just in case, you know, a little bit of money would help. But the first money that I receive, I'm going to do steak and eggs and do the green pepper and mushrooms and onions, and I'm going to do a piece. I'll probably cook it, and then after do what I did, I'll put like 4K special and then morning chat day, whatever it is, and eat it like I did yesterday. I apologize. I mean, I was all stuffed up, and I already had it planned, and I said I shouldn't be cooking with a runny nose, and I said, but I already had it planned. I already wanted the potato pancakes. As you can see, I ate my whole breakfast, you know, the potato pancakes. But anyway, yeah, it was, but I feel better today. I'm staying in the house, watch Netflix maybe, not doing nothing, because I got to be out in that tomorrow. But my appointment's at 1, so at least I'll be catching the same bus. I'll leave here at 12:30. I don't know, I didn't look at the weather forecast, but I'm just going to dress warm and make sure I don't get a chill. Cigarette time. So I'll see you tomorrow morning. I think I got a little topic for tomorrow morning because someone commented and it stuck in my head. I was going to do it today, but I'll just talk about the work. I had this planned So, I'm not good at impromptu. I have to have something planned. Even if I don't have nothing written down, at least I know, okay, I'm doing this today, I'm doing that today. So, until tomorrow, sorry I'm probably going to be a little late, but I slept in because I really needed to sleep. I took Tylenol, and I slept good last night. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Until then,